In towns like this across rural America, churches aren't just places of worship. They're the heartbeat of the community. But in America, that pulse is fading. Here in Gates County, North Carolina, several churches have closed their doors, but this one seems to be opening their doors much wider.
We're in a small town, dude. Right?
Everyone knows
everybody. Knows everybody. Right. You live in a fishbowl if you're a pastor here.
GATESVILLE, North Carolina, population 250, sits just south of the Virginia line. Roughly half of its residents attend the Upper Room, an Assemblies of God church on the edge of town. A short drive through Gates County reveals a landscape of faith in transition.
Probably 5 right now that on paper are open and have closed, and there's a couple that have just literally closed and shuttered the doors.
On the outside, restored sanctuaries and shining stained glass may look like revival. Yet across parts of rural America, looks can be deceiving.
The caretaker group will care for this building. They'll keep the grass cut, and they'll make sure the roof is fixed. So it'll be an edifice. It's a museum. Just something that Jesus did generations ago.
Nationally, as many as 15,000 churches could close this year alone, with the National Council of Churches estimating 100,000 closures in the coming years. Mainline Protestant and Catholic parishes are hit the hardest.
Based upon the best data I have, 2025 may be a year when we'll see what I think will be the most churches closed in any one year.
Tom Rayner, CEO of Church Answers, has helped churches on the brink for nearly 40 years.
We at Church Answers cannot keep up with the number of consultation requests for revitalization. We can send resources, but for those who want us there at the church to look at it, we simply cannot keep up with it. That's telling me that these churches know that there's a problem more than ever.
Rayner, an early leader in church revitalization, created the Hope Initiative, a model used across denominations to restore struggling congregations. He sees 2 critical warning signs that led to this year's tidal wave of closures.
Once you see a church that has no evangelistic intentionality, no gospel centrality, along with a self-serving motive, you can pretty much be guaranteed that that church is in a decline, perhaps near death or perhaps dead. We call the category of near death moribund, M-O-R-I-B-U-N-D. And it's a weird name, but it just means really, really sick.
Inside the Upper Room, though, it's a different story. And the pastor's own journey serves as a testament to the renewal.
Think about this, Brody. I met Jesus in prison. So everything we call the church, I had never seen before, right? My church was in a cell block with 4 or 5 other believers and the Word of God.
In the late 90s, before Christ entered his life, Earhart spent 4 years behind bars for drug distribution. That's where he says God gave him a vision to open a church.
So we ended up launching this church. I'm the founding pastor. We're 3 miles from the prison camp that I was released from.
As a church that's undergone the Acts 2 journey, an Assemblies of God revitalization model, Pastor Earhart is a prime example of what a church can do if they lean into where God is leading them.
Revitalization is predicated on lowering the barriers to entrance, that their heart becomes tender to the fact that right outside those doors, there's people who are desperate for hope. They're desperate for Christ, and they've never even heard his name before.
While thousands of America's churches are closing, Pastor Earhart believes that by lowering barriers and reaching beyond his walls, faith can still transform a community, even in a town of just 250. Reporting in Gates County, North Carolina, Brody Carter, CBN News.